Kevin Durant is officially being traded to the Houston Rockets by Phoenix. Houston gave up, I think I saw it's Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks. Those are the only two players. And then a bunch of picks. I think I saw 4 or 5 second round picks, if I'm not mistaken. I think those are the only two players, Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green. So I played the clip from Scoop B. He was on the show a few months ago talking about the connections that KD has with the coaching staff, Royal Ivy, Ime Udoka in Houston, and how they were looking to acquire Kevin Durant, how this was on their radar, and they made it happen on the last day of the season. So I guess this is my initial take and feeling on KD in Houston. For one, I've been reminding people how where KD, LeBron, and Steph are right now in their careers is very challenging to for a fan base and probably even for a front office to like figure out what do we really do with them right now, because KD, Steph, and LeBron, as we know, are past their prime. They're in the last parts of their careers, but each of them is still playing elite basketball. So Golden State went and got Jimmy Butler this year because they're like, hey, Steph is still Steph. We've still got something here. We've got Steph and Draymond. Clay is out, but like we still need to maximize Steph. You look at LeBron with the Lakers, they brought in, they came up on Luka. So the point is, when you have these superstars who are aging, but still playing at an elite level, like Kevin Durant, KD is still playing at an elite level, not prime level, but still elite basketball. I just feel like that's challenging to think about it just makes it even more important to figure out like what kind of situation makes sense around them in this parts of their career when they're still this good. Can they can all still contribute to winning basketball, but they may not be in a position to lead a team to a championship by themselves, which, I mean, most people don't do that anyway. Everyone needs help, right? So it's just an interesting thing to think about. So when I think about KD in Houston, the number one thing that makes me encouraged about KD in Houston and what makes me think it can work and what makes me think it can be successful, not just work, but be successful, be a legit contender in the West, is Ime Udoka. I feel like Ime Udoka's coaching style and his culture that he has already started to set in with Houston is going to really help Kevin Durant, because this is a culture of, I mean, I even think about the fact that Ime coached probably the best series we've seen against Kevin Durant in that Boston and Brooklyn series. Even though most of the games were close, I had never seen Kevin Durant look that challenged on the basketball court. The way Boston defended him, and that was Ime Udoka's Boston team that went to the finals and lost to Golden State in 2022. But I mean, they made KD and Kyrie look, I don't want to say bad, but they looked challenged. They looked out of sorts, especially KD. And I just think Ime Udoka gives KD a chance to be part of a culture that is kind of set in something that is not necessarily his vibe. Like Ime Udoka's about toughness, grit, and that's good for KD because as we all like to say, KD can fit in any style. He's not like known as a toughness physicality player, but he can fit in any style. Now, obviously for Houston, what's important for them is that they're getting someone like KD who they can go to, like giving up Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks. Like that's why most of us felt like Houston made sense, because what they need is that go-to scorer on the wing. And KD can obviously do that for them. But I think it's going to be interesting because I don't think Houston is going to be or wants to be or should want to be some like high-powered offensive team. They'll be able to score better. And I mean, like, they were top 3 in the West this past year. And it's not like they had some dynamic offense. I mean, when it came to the playoffs, that's where they looked so limited, was just in their offensive capability, being able to manufacture points consistently. Now, the thing about their setup now is that KD is their best player. And I think what Houston should be trying to do now is continue to build the team around solid depth. Look at the two teams in the finals right now. We're about to talk about the finals in game 7 tonight in a couple minutes, but that's part of the model that I think teams need to try to adapt, especially a team like where like you have KD, but like we're not in a position to be thinking of KD as leading this team, by himself to a championship. And again, no one does it by themselves, but like if KD's their best player and the only one who's done it and been there, they're going to be relying on him for, more than just like, that's why I advocated for like, yo, Minnesota might be cool. I even thought San Antonio would be great because I thought what might be best for KD is to play with another young upcoming star who is better than him right now or going to be better than him. Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama. Like I thought maybe that would be better for KD so he could really just focus on scoring and not so much be like and I'm not one to like question his leadership or anything like that. But I don't know if that's an ideal scenario for him to be the one veteran championship scorer. And look, I love that he's got defenders around him, a really good skilled big in Shangun. Like it's a good team. I think they're going to be a really good team. But if we're talking championship, they're going to have to rely on building out their depth and really anchoring their identity in what I think Ime Udoka wants to be, which is still a defensive team. Like I think where this works and can make sense is that you have Houston who has young dynamic players, some pretty good two-way players, some skill players, but they're young and they have a coach who is defense oriented. Then you add one of the best scorers, one of the best wing players of all time, and that should work because you still need to score the ball. And that's where they were obviously limited in the playoffs. So I really like it for Houston to get a legit proven scorer like this. I like it for KD because it's a chance to play in a culture that I think is going to be good for him, that I think is not going to wear him down and rely on him too much. At least I think that's what Houston should be focused on is I mean, I'm just having the understanding that their best player, this guy they just traded for, he is, 36 going on 37. Um, he is past his prime, but he's still elite. You don't just ride him thinking that he's going to be the savior every night. You've got to empower, you've got to think depth. You've got to think depth and you've got to have other players and your other young players empowered to be really good and big time and special in big moments. KD is going to take on the heavy load in a lot of those big moments when it comes to getting a bucket, scoring and shot making. And that's great. But if they're going to be a real contender, it's the depth thing. It's what we're about to talk about with these two teams in the finals right now. You've got to have legit depth to be able um to compete. And they're going to have a good starting five, but I don't want to get too wrapped up in the whole can a team win a championship with KD as their best player, because I think the answer is flat out yes, as long as you show me that that team is built in a certain way around him with other playmakers, other shooters, scorers, defenders. Like we're talking about building out a roster now, a depth chart. So it's not all about KD. At least it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be looking to wear him down. God forbid he goes down and misses time, then you're right back to where you were. But I get it. I love it. I think this makes sense. I know people will still be complaining about sending picks and oh, he's not going to get you over the hump and all that. I think this makes sense for both sides, especially I think I'm most confident in Ime Udoka being able to coach Kevin Durant and him being in that kind of culture that's still going to be defense oriented. And I think that's good for him, where he can really pick his spots and be who he is, who everyone knows he is when they need him to. And I think he's still proven he can do that. It's different than Phoenix. Like I think this team just has a little more of that grit and culture to them, a little more defined roles, a coach who is like more no nonsense, who has, seen success, who know, like, I think this is a good situation for both parties, for KD and for Houston. And we'll see what they continue to do with the roster to fill out, because I still think they need to focus on that, and I don't think they're set right now. I think they're going to compete, but we'll see what else they can do. Probably nothing like too crazy, but just filling in with good players, maybe a couple, maybe one or two more veterans. I know they re-signed Steven Adams, but this is going to be really interesting. I think this does make Houston better. But they still have to know what their culture is and figure out what their depth is going to be.